Hey guys, excited to have you as part of the Tampa Bay Real Producer family. Welcome to the community. The purpose of this video is to just go through some tips on how to get the most out of this platform. And I would highly encourage you to maybe even watch this with your team, with your staff, somebody who's going to be somewhat responsible for making sure that you get the most value out of this partnership with Tampa Bay Real Producers. There's gonna be a few documents that I'm gonna walk through, but I think that if you save this video, put it on your file somewhere and revisit this over the course of your entire agreement with us, you are gonna find it to be immensely valuable and really the keys to getting the most production possible out of everything that we bring to the table with Tampa Bay Real Producers. So let's dive right in. First thing I want to talk about is that partner blueprint document that you guys have in your inbox right now. This blueprint document was sent as part of your welcome email, all right? So if you need to find it, look for it there. Of course, if you can't find it, just reach out to us and we'll be able to get it over to you. But this gives you an overview, a layout of some specific things that you could be doing, that you should be planning to do with your teams or just yourself to be able to get the most out of this. So as you'll see, there's a breakdown here on a couple of the different components of our platform. One of them being your print ad, the magazine itself. Secondly, being the events that we put on, which is something that we do throughout the whole year. And then lastly, the social media strategies, the social media side of the business. We could even add a couple of more to this now that we've launched our podcast. That's another tool that we have at our disposal that we'll talk some more about. And even our consulting program, which is also about to be launched here. So by the time you watch this video, that might already be in effect, and we can talk briefly about that as well. Specifically about the ad though first, whatever you have, quarter page all the way up to a 2-page spread, the objective of your ad is it's there for branding. Nobody is under the illusion that just because you have an ad, right, running in the magazine consistently, that means some agent who's already a top producer is gonna see your ad and be like, oh, I've never thought of using a mortgage lender before. Maybe I should give you a call, okay? That's not how it works. We all know that. But the objective of the ad is to create a sense of you being top of mind when the opportunity is needed. And that is so important in this busy world of unlimited amounts of mortgage lenders, title companies, home inspectors. I mean, God knows that there's a lot of options that are out there. So what is it that's gonna make you different? And one of the things that helps make you different is if you can position yourself as a true option so that when there is a need that arises for a lender, for a title company, for a home inspector, for any of the categories that we work with, you wanna make sure that you become top of mind, that you are now in that consideration set. And honestly, all of our components of our platform work together, right, to be able to help accomplish that goal. But the ad is one of the elements of just even on the subconscious level where you're seen every single month, right, in your ad as these real producers open up the magazine and read about their peers and educate themselves more on who the top producers are in our community. It does help that you are being seen, right, on a regular basis through there. Now, a couple of tips though, when it comes to this ad, we highly encourage you to change it up every now and again. Sometimes we'll talk to a client and they have the same ad running for years. And not that that can never work, because there is some power in just having some consistency, of course, with your brand. But I do believe that there is power in grabbing attention. And so this is something we can help you with. You know, we have our own in-house team that we can have a call with you about. But ultimately, the goal would be that your ad at least can grab attention, right? Can it create a second look? Can it be worth, you know, a call to action in that ad? And that brings us to one other tip, is to, instead of just listing a phone number in your ad, one of the better practices that we've seen is to have a QR code in your ad. People nowadays, it's more likely that they'll just take a quick scan on their phone, just like you see at restaurants all the time, rather than actually dialing a phone number, right? You can get that QR code to be linked to a Calendly link or some sort of a call to action. We can help you with that. So we would encourage you to look at it more that way. As far as the ad, there's an example I'm sure we can pop up with some of our current clients, and that would help out with the call to actions a little bit more. And of course, if you have a lot of room in your ad, you're gonna be able to do more creative things than if you have a quarter page or a third page. But the point is, look for some images that you might like. We, again, can help you with this. Our team can even have a call with you, by the way, a strategy session to talk about things that you are curious about or ideas that you have when it comes to your ad campaign. Take advantage of that because our team knows what they're doing, and they create thousands of these ads all throughout the country. So let us help you create a marketing campaign that's going to tell your story, and it's going to be aligned with what you want it to be aligned for. One other thing about the ad, if you go to our website, TampaBayRealProducers.com, just want to show you that if you click on the actual publication, right? So I click here on publication, it's going to open up what you see here, which is the flip book of the publication. You'll notice now that if I go through the pages of the publication, each one of these ads, the first one you see is Milestone title here, of course, inside front cover. If I click on Milestone's logo, you'll notice that it takes me directly to Milestone's website. So we built in on the electronic version of the publication the opportunity for each one of the ads to be hyperlinked, right, to a website. What I would, again, encourage you to do is maybe you would rather have your ad be hyperlinked to your Calendly link or some other call to action rather than your website. I know for a fact that some people's websites actually hinder their conversion rate rather than help them. And so on the website, if you have people being sent there and you're looking at your own Google algorithms and you're looking at your own analytics and you're not converting leads, that's a website issue, right? And it might make sense for you to entertain more of just a direct Calendly link that we can easily set up on our end if you're interested in that. So I just wanted to point out that each one of these issues is digital on our website. This is also emailed out, by the way, with that link to over 5,000 agents in the Tampa Bay area every single month. And so making sure that you have that right hyperlink is something we can help you with. Also, if you click on the Partners tab on the website, you will notice that there is a logo here for every partner that we currently have with Tampa Bay Real Producers. Same thing here, each logo is hyperlinked. You see as I hover over it, it has the name and address and phone number, but if I click on the logo, then it takes me directly to, this is Curbio's example here, their website. Once again, if you want to hyperlink that as a Calendly link or some other call to action, we can do that as well. So think of the ad not just as the print version in the magazine, but also think about the dynamic of what you want it to be electronically. And ultimately, that's really the way to get the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to these different ad campaigns. Let's talk a little bit about events. One of the things that you have also been sent in your welcome email is our calendar of events for next year. On that event calendar, we give that to you in advance. That way you can plan accordingly, right? Put them in your calendar, and hopefully at the very least, you can either get somebody on your team to be able to go with you, or if you personally are able to attend, that's even better. As the owner of the company, you'll see 3 to 4 big events a year. We obviously have the monthly panels now, the panel of producers, our pop series that we host on the 3rd Thursday of each month at Whiskey Cake. We also have the MVP socials now on the 1st Thursday of each month as well. And then our partner masterminds that are for you only as a partner, just to literally talk strategy and how to get the most out of this opportunity. We host almost 30 events a year. And the objective of these events is to allow you opportunities to meet these agents face to face that you see, featured every month in the actual magazine. Now, if you don't prioritize these events and put any of them in your calendar and don't ever show up to an event, you are missing out on a huge opportunity within the Real Producer community. I'll tell you right now, in my experience, and I've had this platform since 2019, really the only partners that we ever don't continue working with are the ones that we never see, okay? So if you don't show up to anything, could you just get random phone calls from your ad in the magazine? Yeah, anything's possible, but it's not likely. And the objective is to get you connected. You don't build relationships by just having a cold ad in a magazine and nobody knows who's behind that ad. You build relationships by actually talking to people face to face. Of course, you guys all know that. But I say that because, like I said, I've had partners who have not taken advantage of our event programs. Now, with that being said, none of our partners come to everything, right? We don't expect you to, nor probably should you be able to have that much free time on your hands. But we do expect you as a minimum, and this is something that, again, you've probably heard in your initial meeting with me or one of our staff members, we do expect you to, as a minimum, sponsor at least one event per year that you're working with Real Producers. And the reason why we have that expectation is we just know the impact that by being a sponsor of an event, you are not only going to have your branding and your logo and your marketing and all that stuff, but it just forces you to have it in your calendar and make sure that you're there partnering with us on what that event is bringing, right? In terms of the value. And of course, many of our partners sponsor a lot more than just one event. They sponsor as many of them as they can get their hands on. So a couple strategy tips that you can do to take advantage of these event opportunities, other than just putting them in your calendar, making sure you prioritize what they can do for you, is to invite your agent relationships to come with you. One of the best things that you can do as a partner is to leverage the events and the whole platform really that we do, including the magazine and the spotlights that we have in the magazine. I highly encourage you to add that value to your agent relationships that are important to your business by inviting them to come with you to any of the events that they qualify for. Granted, they would have to be a top 500 producer to come to most of our events, but there are some, like our Pop series, where it's an open invite. That particular event, you can bring any agent that you want to bring, right? Anybody who you just think is a valuable part of your business or that you want to be a valuable part of your business. This is a partnership together, like just as much as we do to try to help you and get in front of people, we also would expect the same in return, because if we work together in the promotion of these events, it benefits all of us, right? It benefits our platform, benefits you as in your business, because then we get more and more agents involved. And that's obviously the goal at the end of the day. And so definitely encourage you to, anytime you see our events, share them on your own social media. I would reach out individually, send a couple text messages, a couple of phone calls, a couple of emails to some of those key agent relationships. See if they, RSVP'd already, if they've ever been to one of our events before, and then see if it makes sense for them to come with you. I think that's a big, big thing. Now, other than things that you can do, of course, for agents that you already have in your network, whether it's through the magazine or it's through the events itself, one of the goals, of course, of Real Producers is to help you get new relationships with agents that you don't know yet, but that you would love to. One of the things that I've seen done very well, and this goes back a little bit to the magazine, but also ties into events, is when you get the issue, right, every month, the magazine that gets delivered to your office, have someone, if it's not you, I encourage it to hopefully be you as the owner, but someone who really cares, right, about your business on your team, have them take the time to actually read the articles that are in the magazine. Learn something about the actual agents that are in those pieces. One of the beautiful things about our publication is that it's not a traditional real estate magazine. It's not just about listings and how much they've sold. It's a story about them as people, right? It's about their story, how they became a real producer, their family, their hobbies, their interests. It's the stuff that, relationships are built on. By reading these articles, you're allowed to grab a couple of nuggets from that, finding a nugget about who's their favorite sports team, where did they come from, what is their background. There's always something, if you're paying attention, that you can grab, that you can make a connection on. That is an immense value add when you meet these people in person at our events. We've all been to events before, kind of those stale, networking type events where you meet someone who you'd love to do some business with, but you've never met them before. And some people are just not as good as others when it comes to rapport building, right? And being able to make a connection with someone else. Well, let us help you with that. Use the magazine as a tool, read the articles in advance before an event, and then when you meet these agents, this comes especially helpful, by the way, with our MVP socials that we throw every month, because every month you can expect to see whoever was in that issue, that's who's being honored and recognized at our MVP social. So if you're a sponsor for that event and you're coming, it gives you a great opportunity to congratulate them, of course, in person for being featured. But talk about becoming part of their consideration set. Well, it boils down to them liking you. That's how you become part of their consideration set. When that agent has that need and they know they met you at the social and you had a great conversation about how you were both from Kentucky or whatever. I don't know why I thought of Kentucky, but the point is, find something that you can connect with them on. You will then be remembered. And that's the whole objective, right, of what we want to get accomplished here. The other thing that you can do regarding events, and this ties a little bit more into the magazine too, is as you read these articles, One of the things that I know some of our partners have had a lot of success with is reaching out proactively to agents that have been featured in the publication, but not in a salesy, like pushy way. That's gonna completely repel them, right? But in a way of support and congratulations. This could be as simple as a Facebook post or an Instagram message where you simply congratulate them on being featured as a rising star in that issue, or a cover story, or maybe you read an article about someone's nonprofit affiliation. We do that all the time, these making a difference sections that we spotlight. And you also have a similar passion when it comes to that charity or whatever the cause is, right, that they're spotlighting. Reach out to them about that. By being intentional and reaching out to these agents in this manner, what it'll allow you to do is start to facilitate real relationships, emphasizing real with real producers as well. One of the tools that you can use in tracking this is this tool that I'm going to show you right here. This is called our Agent Relationship Tracker. And with this tool, you'll notice that, and you don't have to use this exact tracker, by the way, but I encourage you to have something in place that allows you to track whether you're being effective or not with developing relationships with top people. You'll notice on the tracker that it's broken up into these 8 different ways to communicate. This is taken from the book Never Lose a Customer Again, by the way, written by Joey Coleman. A great book. I'd encourage any business owner to read it. It's one of the best books I've ever read on customer and client retention. You really want to stand out, if you really want to build a client base, utilize these tools and some of the stuff taught in that book to be able to do that. This tracker is just a very simple way for you to know every time an agent is featured in Real Producers. As you can see here, you'll put the name of that agent who was featured under name of person. And then every month that goes by, you can update that with the new people that are featured. But what you'll notice is, like, every month under here, I can then track whether I reached out to that agent with any of the different methods of communication. Here's the reality. Everybody responds differently to different forms of communication and marketing. You might try to be reaching out to agents on the phone, and they're never gonna answer your call because they just don't pick up numbers that they don't recognize, right? Or you might be trying to reach them on email, and they're never gonna respond because that's not the way they connect. But if you're only trying 1 or 2 different methods to connect with them, well, I'm telling you right now, you could be missing out on massive opportunities. My point is, have a system, and it could be as simple as this little tracker. I think you'll find that to be very, very valuable in realizing how you can get the most out of this platform and out of this relationship. A couple other things here regarding events. One of the big mistakes that I see that people make regarding events, especially since some of the events we host are fairly large in size. We just did an awards banquet last week. It had over 300 agents there, right? And if I went to that event trying to talk to every single agent, I would be running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And if I had, my business cards and I was trying to pass them out to as many agents as I can bump into, man, I am not getting the point of what Real Producers is. That's just repelling people, okay? What you want to focus on when you come to these events is having some real conversation with a handful of people at the most, right? Pick a couple of people that you get connected to, because ultimately, let's be real, most every single partner that we work with in Tampa Bay Real Producers, all you need to be wildly profitable in this platform is like 1, maybe 2 quality relationships from the top 500 producers in the Tampa Bay market. Because of the level of volume that these guys produce, at the end of the day, if you can get 1 to 2 quality relationships that they trust you, they love your work, they've built your business, you've now completely recouped your investment and probably 5 to 10x'd it because you have built the real trust. It's not about trying to get every agent you can in a room, right? And trying to get them all to work with you. Get those 1 to 2 quality relationships going, and that's how you really get traction. And of course, once you do that well, they're gonna refer you to other agents on their teams within the organizations. Your reputation will start to take over from there, and your business can grow exponentially as a result of that. So that's just a tip when it comes to how to really work these events. and manage them properly at the end of the day. Social media is another thing that you can utilize. And not only, I've already mentioned the idea of simply congratulating them if they've been featured on social media. I would encourage you to make sure every time you see agents that are in the magazine, you at least try to follow them on social media, follow them on Instagram, follow them on TikTok if they have one. Request to be a friend with them. Even if they don't know you, they might not accept the request yet, but it's not a harm in trying to follow their public page. Most of these agents have a public page now that you can just follow on Facebook. Another thing you can do is LinkedIn, right? Being able to connect with them on LinkedIn. Again, just like I mentioned earlier, there's different ways to communicate. There's also favorite social media platforms that people have. And some are only going to be focused on Facebook. Others are only Instagram. Others are like TikTok crazy right now. Ultimately, you don't really know, so it might be worth it at least having a presence on all of them and trying to friend them and follow them on the ones that you can. It allows them to see more about who you really are. And that also helps too with the whole goal here, which is building quality relationships. I would highly encourage you to make sure that you're engaging in our Facebook page. So if you guys all should know by now, we do have the top 500 agents in Tampa Bay as a Facebook page that you're gonna want to make sure that you're a part of. You should have already gotten an invite as far as onboarding. If not, please reach out to us and we'll get you on. But that's another tool for you to be able to look for things that you can like, comment, share, have some sort of social media engagement with. I will share this. I would encourage you to add content to that page, but we will remove the content if it's advertorial or just salesy, right? So you want the content to be coming from the standpoint of, is this adding value? You'll notice in the group, we remove listings, anything that's just self-promotion, we don't even keep it in there, right? But anything that you know, hey, maybe there's an event that you're a part of that you think would be cool for other agents to know about, post that in there. We can keep that type of stuff in there. Maybe you're interviewed on a podcast, one of our podcasts or another. That would be something that you can post as value. Maybe you write an article about your industry that you know adds value. And that's something I was gonna bring up as well. Not only can we post that on social media, if you know you're an expert in a certain area and you wanna be writing some sort of ongoing contribution, that's something we can talk about even incorporating into your ad campaign for the magazine and having like consistent content coming out throughout the course of your campaign. Utilize the private Facebook group, the top 500 members. We also have a partner group on Facebook, which is also there for announcements and more of kind of strategy sessions that we can talk about for just the partners. So just make sure that you're on both. A couple extra ninja moves. At our MVP socials that you'll see, we tend to frame every article that's in the magazine and we give it to them as a gift. They love it. It's a great way for them to feel special about the fact that they were featured. And I've gone into countless now agent offices and seen those frames that we have given them on their walls. It's something they take pride in. I would encourage you to consider, maybe creating your own like gifting program. It doesn't have to be specifically tied to real producers, but if you are going to be gifting people, and there's a great book, by the way, called Giftology that you can read about your strategies here, written by a friend of mine, John Rulin. Try to do a gifting program where it's not expected, meaning not during holiday seasons, Christmas, Thanksgiving, like do whatever everybody else does, do something different, okay? Do it during the seasons, like maybe it's marking specific anniversary dates or maybe Valentine's Day because you love your client and there's a real reason why you'd want to do something special, right, for that particular agent. If you wanted to let me know that, we can get you a high resolution copy, right, of that agent's article. And if you wanted to frame something customized for them or do some sort of a piece that is going to really kind of just, again, like I said, be special for that agent, let us know that and we can work with you to make sure that you stand out and provide that extra special gift for that agent. So keep that in mind. That's a good way to definitely add value. And the last thing that I'll say is anytime that you see, the issues drop and there's somebody in there that you want an introduction to, whether that's a three-way text, an email, whatever the case may be, just let me know. We have no problem making these introductions. We know that can be helpful in terms of just initiating some of the conversation that you want. It always is helpful, I think, if there's a reason behind the introduction. Maybe you read something about them that you think would be cool, or whatever, you know someone that they know and there's a connection there. But let us know, and we can try to make that introduction happen if you think that would help you in facilitating your relationship. So there's a lot that I know we just went over. I know that you guys have businesses to run, so in no way do I think that you're going to necessarily be able to apply everything right away that we just talked about. But this is why our agreements are structured from 12 to 60 issue packages, because our intent is to build a great relationship with you the same way that you want to build a great relationship with the real estate agents that you're in front of. And ultimately, the longer that you are working in this community, the stickier the relationships tend to get. And that's the whole goal, right? You want to brand yourself as a go-to excellent provider in your space. The reality is that by us working together, we can help you accomplish that goal. And at the same time, of course, help you be wildly profitable in what it is that you're growing with your brand. We're excited, like I said, to have you be a part of this community. Tampa Bay Real Producers was built for the purpose of getting the top 500 agents not only to communicate with each other and collaborate with each other, which I think we've been able to accomplish, but also to make sure that the best local small business owners in the Tampa Bay market are working with the best agents. And that's really how this is all designed to work together. So we did, like I mentioned earlier, launched a podcast recently that you can ask me about later. There will be opportunities to even have commercials that will be mixed into that. So if there's an episode that you would love to have your brand affiliated with, we can chat about that too. We have certain ways that your brand can be tied in as the sponsor for that particular podcast episode, okay? So we have that as an option. And as I also mentioned, we have the consulting thing coming in the future. And that's going to be launched this year. And this is going to be, I think, a game changer for the level of value that we bring to agents who want to be top 500 producers. As we help these agents grow their businesses and become top 500 producers, you as partners will also be making more and more of those connections and providing that additional support, which is something we will be bringing you in for to be able to help them grow their businesses as well. So don't hesitate to reach out to me or to our team if there's anything that we can do. Do not be a stranger. I hope that the next time I see you is not at the end of your agreement, okay? Make sure that it's during the course of your agreement at some of our events. Of course, I'm sure we'll hook up at one of our client lunches at Center Club or somewhere else. But we care. I'm excited to help you grow your business, and let me know if there's anything that I can do for you. God bless, and we'll talk to you soon.